Very good, very good. And I hope it will remain the same roaring of applause when you leave the campus and join the corporate world, or you start with your own venture. So it will be all the same. Keep this momentum, keep this energy. So another phase of your life is here. Why I said, you must be thinking, why is ma'am talking like this? Because this is another 2 years of our academic journey. Yes, true. But now it will be very different, because here you will be working, you'll be studying or learning in a simulated corporate environment. So everything will be learning by doing, you see. So it will be whether you learn through your case studies or through your projects, simulation exercises and assignments and workshops. There will be a lot of guest lectures, leadership talks. I mean, it's all learning by doing. Apart from that, you will be learning inside the class and as well as outside the class. You will be given projects in almost all the subjects. You have your summer internship projects also, and a couple of assignments where you will have to work in a team. So that is the learning outside the classroom, where you will be interacting with your team members. You know, sometimes it's very difficult to work in a team, I understand. You may be having your own differences then, but there is something called synergy, which is there in a team, because each team member will have his or her strength. And that is what the synergy is. And you must be saying, otherwise, why do the companies acquire another company, then there are mergers? It's all because of this synergy creation. Somebody has some advantage, the other person doesn't have. So all of us work in collaboration with each other and come out with the best. So that is what will happen in the team, you know. And as Anand Mahindra, I'll just read out the quote of Mr. Anand Mahindra, who says, "You are going to be more effective if you work collaboratively in a team." So if I say that, you know, if I take two names, Nitin Saluja and Raghav Verma, would you be able to relate to them? Nitin Saluja, Raghav Verma? Chayos? Chayos? So how did the idea come up? You see, they were friends. They were studying in IIT Mumbai. So idea can emerge anywhere. So that is why the teamwork and interaction with each other is very important. Like Nitin Saluja was in US when you know, he was just after dinner. He and his wife were wanting to have a cup of tea. They were actually craving for that, and they wanted to have a joint like cafe coffee day or something like that, where they could go and have a cup of tea. They did not find. So that is when the idea of setting up Chayos came to Nitin Saluja. So he came to India, did some market research, and found that one cup of coffee is drank in India over 30 cups of tea. So then the idea of setting up Chayos joints came to his mind. He contacted Raghav Verma, his friend, and then rest is history. Because prior to that, tea was sold street vendors used to sell tea, but it was not in a very hygienic condition. So now you can have meetings. You can just carry your laptop and have a couple of meetings in different Chayos joints. Another thing I want to say is that please go through your handbook, student handbook. All the rules are there. So go through the rules, etc. Because you know, we will follow rules when it comes to ethics and when it comes to submission of your assignments, examinations, attendance, etc. And we actually practice it. And as you know, a questionable corporate governance, companies with questionable corporate governance tend to fail. So that is there. So we will groom you in that environment from the very beginning. You will have to wear multiple hats. What I mean to say by this is, even if you are doing your specialization maybe in marketing, finance, or any other stream, but the question is, you know, you have to learn everything. What I mean to say by that, there was a survey conducted by McKinsey, And the analysis was done and it was found that a CFO of a company spends 1/3 of his or her time in managing people. So you see how HR is important. If you have to, even if you are a techie, even if you are joining as a finance person or maybe selling and marketing products, but you are actually handling team. So HR is again very important for you. Think about it. And the second thing, you know, earlier what was the role of a CFO or role of a finance person? They used to take care of auditing, accounting, taxation, and corporate finance. But now it's something beyond that. Who knew that the entire pandemic would shake the world and everything will be on the clouds now? Earlier clouds were just, we used to just look at it and feel good that the clouds are there and it might rain. But now there is something called technical clouds. So everything is on the clouds. Now a finance guy has to have knowledge on AI, data analytics, and then whatnot. So you are actually wearing multiple hats. That's what I said. And you will be doing a lot of courses. You will be learning a lot of courses in different disciplines and subjects. Will there not be changes when you go out? Changes can happen anywhere. It's a very dynamic environment, very dynamic world. So what will you do? You will say, okay, I learned a language, I learned a subject in my B school during the 2 years. All of a sudden I come out and there is something else. It doesn't matter. You will be groomed in such a way that you will be prepared for the changes that are there in the environment when you go out. Maybe world will be very different after 10 years. At least now we say it's global competition. Who knows? Something like, you know, something from the books of fiction will come true and the competition will be there, God knows where. So that is the kind, you have to prepare for that. So I will be failing in my duty if I do not introduce you the backbone of the program office and the examination cell. Excuse me. So we'll just know all the program coordinators, and they are very helpful. They are very, approachable. If you have problems, do mail to them. You will get a response from them. That is the history. So let me have the privilege of introducing the program office members and the examination cell members. Okay, so photographs are already there. So that's, you see, Mr. S.P. Agarwal is the in charge of PGDM VFS. We have Mr. B.C. Bahuguna. He is the in charge of PGDM second year, and all students are Beta G for him. And Miss Aparna, so that's a typo, I'm sorry, Miss Aparna De. Miss Aparna De is the head of examinations. She has that beautiful smile on her face all the time. But let me tell you, she is the person who knows the rule book by heart. Mr. Neeraj Kumar, ever friendly, Mr. Neeraj Kumar, very energetic, very enthusiastic all the time. He manages PGDM first year. Bahuguna ji manages PGDM second year. Mr. Sudhir Kumar Tyagi is the assistant manager of examination, and we also have Mr. Ghanshyam Yadav, who is the coordinator of examination. Aparna ma'am heads examination cell. So with that, I'll wind up. And yes, I was talking about the uncertainty in the environment. So I would like to narrate a brief story to you. When I was teaching corporate finance in PGDM Executive, I had invited Mr. Somen Ray, who was the CFO of Bajaj Auto at that time. Now Somen has joined Bharti Airtel. So when Somen came, that was the time of pandemic actually. Pandemic had already started, so he actually addressed students online. And then he said that during pandemic, their plant in Maharashtra was actually facing problem because the workers used to come from the villages, and the sarpanch was not allowing the workers to go to plant every day and come back. So the Sarpanch said, okay, fine, agar jana hai to wapas mat aana. So this is exactly what Bajaj Auto did. And they asked all the workers to stay inside the plant and work overtime. Everything was given, food was given, they used to earn for overtime also. And they were very happy because every evening they used to watch a movie. So they used to have screens and watch movies. So workers were also very happy, and it was a win-win situation because production did not suffer during that pandemic period. So this is how you have to foresee the obstacles and prepare for that proactively. So let me just end up with a quote of Mr. Ratan Tata. Don't just have a career and academic goal. As Mr. Ratan Tata says, set goals to give you a balanced and successful life. Balanced means ensuring a proper health, relationship, and mental peace. Also, Mr. Tata added, what is the use of getting a promotion on the day of your breakup? How are you going to enjoy it? So basically, he meant that you can have a balanced life, and that is what is very important. So let me wind up. I just end with a Sanskrit quote, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Let the entire world be happy. And once again, welcome, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the warm welcome and your informative words. I think the full-time students will now look forward to explore their choices in the next term.
With that, we humbly request the PGDM DCP Chair, Professor Sean Matthew, to take the students to the structure of the DCP course.
A very good morning to everyone. Especially welcome Dr. Talwar, Dr. Sareen, my esteemed staff and faculty colleagues, and last but not the least, all of you students, the incoming batch of 22-24. I think I have spoken a lot about the DCP program structure, architecture over the last 6 months, so this session I won't do that part. Rather, I think formal occasions always call for formal speeches. So I have a small bit prepared for you. So it's a great pride and privilege for me to welcome this particular incoming batch, the batch of 2024, to this orientation program. We have interacted with many of you over the last few months as part of the admission process, the INC sessions, the various other interactions. And it's a matter of joy for us to see a few familiar faces, a few unfamiliar but beaming faces, eager to take on the world. So it's really nice to see you on campus. And trust me, by stepping into IMT, you have taken the right first step towards a brighter future. We had organized the Milab event over the last few days so that you get to know all of us better. Settled into the campus, and I hope it has served its purpose and all of you are at ease now. Today is a very important day in your career, the one which symbolizes the start of your two-year journey at IMT. The very purpose of an orientation week is to channel you towards the right path, guide you in the right direction, and provide you with the necessary steps to let you excel in the next 2 years and on your journey forward, so that you become better versions of yourself, and hopefully this would be the right start to that particular process. All of you are here after a very rigorous selection process. Like ma'am said, it should be a matter of pride both for you and your family that you are in the portals of this very esteemed institution, and you have successfully showcased yourself as being worthy of being here, being one of the future flag bearers of IMT, one of the pioneers of management education in India. And today it symbolizes the start of this 2-year journey together with us. And one thing to remember while you embark on this particular journey, that it's a journey. The journey and the path taken is sometimes more important than the destination itself. I hope you will keep this in mind over the next few years. Over the next 2 years, 20 months or so, you will have a number of opportunities both inside the classroom and outside the classroom for your personal, social, and professional enhancement. So, I think this would be the advice most of us would give to you, that make the most of your time. Use this opportunity to learn, absorb, grow, and repeat the same process again. And I think this would serve you well even beyond the 2 years when you spend on campus. In terms of the skill sets, we have very high expectations out of you. We hope you will be excellent learners who are full of curiosity, multitaskers who would appreciate diversity, critical thinkers who have strong perspectives, and are also compassionate individuals who will be full of life. Being a good human being beyond beyond being professional, excellent professionals is an art by itself. So be an artist and do well in this. Another thing probably which would be on your mind when you're sitting here in this auditorium right now is probably you would have notions of what your career would be, what are the career choices you would make, what you would want to be. And this would be an unfolding process over the next 20 months or so, where you will undertake this career path. And bear in mind at this point that irrespective of whatever path you take, the next 2 years here would help you be excellent practitioners in whatever professions you choose. The courses, the other activities which you do, the projects, the internships, and whatever you do at IMT would be a guiding light in this particular journey towards a destination. And we are hopeful that you will take this journey with the right sense of dedication, courage, and integrity. Remember, it is easy to bask in the glory of a sunshine, yet it is equally important to be prepared to withstand the dark clouds which can cast a shadow on this particular sunshine. At these darkest hours, always keep in mind that you have an entire institution rooting for your success and an entire ecosystem which is there to support you. So for those of you who have seen Harry Potter and remember Dumbledore's word to Harry Potter, help will always be given for those who ask for it. So the same holds true in IMT also. Whenever you require help, you would have the staff, the faculty, all of us who would actually help you provide that. Our aim here is to prepare you as individuals who are resilient, leaders who are courageous, and have the integrity to take the best decisions in the most testing of circumstances. And also be personalities who exhibit these qualities which resonate with the values which this institution and its flag bearers stand for. So we hope you would embody, you would be you would personify this IMT spirit and the values in the next few years. Since I'm the chairperson of the PGDM the dual country program, a special welcome to participants of the DCP program. Since its inception a decade ago, the program has been successful in attracting the most outstanding of talent, people with global career ambitions who are here. And the way this program is designed, as with other programs, that DCP is intended to actually build on the strength of conventional postgraduate programs by infusing international elements into the DNA. So we have undertaken a massive revamp of the program in the last 2 years, and the overarching focus of the program is to mold the students towards international careers. This is done through a steady mix of content, delivery, international faculty, so on and so forth. I think most of the DCP students would have heard me speak about this multiple times over the last few years, so I won't delve on this much further. welcome the DCP batch of 22-24. I look forward to seeing you here and both at the and also at the Dubai campus. And the last one thing which you need to remember is this institution over the last 4 decades has been successful in churning out very successful business leaders, and we are hopeful. These are people whom we are really proud of. You would have interacted with some of the alumni already, and you will be interacting with many more over the next few months. Our dream is that all of you sitting here, all of you, would actually be as successful as some of them, or probably be even more successful, and you will create legacies of your own. So with this, I've not got the entire poem, but I would like to leave you with a few stanzas from a poem which I particularly like. This is the poem is called "If" by Rudyard Kipling. So this was written as an advice to the paternal advice to the poet's son. So I'll quote a few lines from this. Hopefully, this will serve as a guiding light to you over the next 2 years. So here the poem goes like this. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those impostors both the same. If you can talk with the crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with the kings nor lose the common touch. If neither foes nor friends can hurt you, and if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So you can adapt it to, since it's very gender specific, but then I think it applies to every one of you. So I think these words would hold you in good stead over the next few years. So welcome everyone, batch of 2024, the world beckons.
Thank you for that, sir. I'm sure that DCP students are eagerly waiting for the new set of challenges and opportunities that the program has to offer.
I would now like to seek the dais to Professor An Krishnamurthy to address the batch and take them through the highlights of the BFS program.
Hi, good morning, and I'd say welcome lifelong learners. I'm not going to say students because I'm hoping that you will all be lifelong learners, and you'll be learners with a tremendous amount of intellectual curiosity, not just about what you're doing today, what the world looks like today, but what it's changing and what it's requiring you to adapt. Because when you have gray hair, people expect you to give some wisdom. So ever since I said I was going to leave HSBC, the last 6 months I got a lot of young people coming to me saying, well, what advice would you give us in your careers? What would make us successful? And I think that's something that's directly applicable to all of you. And I said there are only 2 things that I would say are the requirements for success. One is to be a learner, to be curious, to constantly recognize that whatever you know today is unlikely to sustain you to the next 5 years, let alone the next 35 years. So you need to be intellectually curious, learning about things that doesn't seem directly relevant to you. And as Professor Barnali said, don't sit there asking yourself, well, I'm going to be in finance, I'm going to be in marketing, so why should I learn about other stuff? You are never going to be in one place. Your career will take you on paths that you never imagined. There will be new roles that you never imagined today. So the first thing is, I would say, be a learner. The second thing, perhaps more importantly, and this has nothing to do with competence or skill, it is to do with resilience. And resilience, which is a subject that is now taking a huge amount of mind share in every sphere, and you can see that in sports. You can see that when you say, oh, the true champions are the ones who can bounce back from when they're looking at certain defeat, the ones who have failed and come back, the ones who have lost and come back. That resilience, emotional resilience, is going to be absolutely critical for all of you, right? And it's going to be critical because one thing I can guarantee is that regardless of how successful you have been on the various metrics you have been measured on, at some point in time, all of us will face setbacks. And some of those setbacks will be because we did not do things right, and some of them will be because we did our best, but the environment wasn't right. But in either case, you need to come back the next day. Whether it's coming back to a class after doing badly in a quiz, whether it's coming back after a project has been shut down, whether it's having a relationship issue, whatever it is, you're going to face setbacks at some point in time, and you need resilience. And the ones who succeed are going to be the ones who sustain are going to be the ones who have the resilience, right? So be a resilient learner and a lifelong learner with intellectual curiosity, and I can guarantee that you will become the best of yourselves. The second thing I would say, have the right amount of stress, right? Stress is good. Don't take it easy. This, as you're all aware, this is not an easy place to get into, and you guys are in the top 1% of the country, maybe even the top 0.5% to have gotten in here. So yes, you've come a great way, and you may feel stressed that I need to perform, and absolutely you do. But you should only have the stress at that level where it's actually helping you perform. Compete with yourself. Be the best that you can be. Don't ever feel like I could have done better. Right? In my school, long time ago, we had outstanding, okay, I think it was okay or satisfactory or something like that. The last grade below fail was could do better. Because it was considered that that is indeed the failure, that if you leave behind something on the table, if you don't do the best you can, and it has nothing to do with what you achieve, it is have you done the best you can. So, focus on the right level of stress. Going on from the Harry Potter theme, we are at an incredibly exciting time, and this was driven home to me when I was privileged to attend a class at McGill where my son was studying, and they gave the parents a chance to attend. And we had a professor who talked to us about how many of you know about Harry Potter's invisibility cloak? Right, lots of hands, right? Okay, so the topic of the session was, can you actually make an invisibility cloak? Right? And so the professor took us through all the science of what invisibility means. You're bending the light around the object so that you can't see the thing, etc., etc., etc. And the last line he said was, there is no scientific reason why you cannot have a cloak of invisibility. And then he said, the rest is just technology. Right? And that was a stunning moment, because that is when you realize that now technology is no longer the barrier. It is entirely your imagination. Anything that is not violated with the laws of science, technology exists. So you are in this incredibly exciting time where if you have the right idea, the technology is never going to be a barrier. Right? Whether it's connectivity, whether it is mobile devices, whether it is bandwidth, whatever it is, it's just a technology. Technology was not even seen as worthy of addressing. It was like, yeah, if it can be done, it will be done. Somebody will do it. Right? So we are in this incredibly exciting time. So speaking about the BFS very briefly, it's a young program, but it's again, it's an industry that is at a very exciting state of disruption, where people are not just questioning, a little bit, how do I do things a little more efficiently, but people are actually asking very fundamental questions, right? What is the nature of money? Why do we need a central bank? Okay, should we be, should we be having intermediaries like banks? Is banking necessary? And then we used to always tell them banking is necessary, but banks may not be necessary, right? So we are being asked, the fundamental industry is being reimagined right from bottom up, whether it's regulation, whether it's technology, etc., right? So you are again at an incredibly exciting time, and in many ways this is a somewhat unique program, because unlike other PGDMs which are focusing on a skill like marketing or finance, this is focusing on an industry, which means that you're going to learn everything that you have to learn on in a general MBA program, but with a lens that is adapted to the industry out there, right? So the way we are planning to teach you this is to teach you a mix of theory, practice, and history. Because while we all like to think about change and disruption and what the world will look like in the future, it's important to know how you got here. And that is what helps you understand the present and imagine the future, right? So we will teach you an element of history in a lot of your courses, because banking and finance has been around pretty much since when mankind started living in communities, right? We'll also teach you how data analytics is changing and shaping the world of financial services, and we'll talk a lot about the disruption that's happening and what the purpose here is not to teach you lots of facts. The purpose here is to teach you a way of thinking so that when the world changes and you're faced with a new situation, you will be in a position to apply first principles and take it from there. Last, I would say, and Professor Banali said it much better, a lot of the learning happens outside of the classroom, right? Speaking from my own experience from the dim and distant past, when I did my MBA, I got to meet a whole bunch of people who I would never have met. And this was only in India, I'm not even talking about going abroad. Just people from different class of society, a different part of the country, a different religion, a different culture. So you meet a lot of people, and a lot of that learning and a lot of the friendships that you build will sustain you through time. I can tell you this, it may not feel that way right now, but IMT will be an indelible part of your identity going forward. Whatever else you do in life, you will always think back that you are an IMT, and we saw that on Saturday with all the alumni who came back and the bond they feel with the institute. So do focus on learning outside the classroom, and not necessarily learning in a very focused way, but learning organically by learning from everyone, right? You guys attended a session on the life lessons from everybody, and this is exactly an opportunity to practice it. So I'll leave it here. Welcome, and let the adventures begin. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind and motivating words. I'm sure we have here with us leaders of the next financial revolution amongst the students of the BFS program, raring to take on the rigors of the course.
One of the hallmarks of any institute of higher education and learning is the faculty that it boasts of. For a program like PGDM, which trains its students to transcend theory and take on real-world challenges from the get-go, hit the ground running, so to say, it becomes critical to balance theoretical rigor with industrial application, added on by consistent research output.
IMT Ghaziabad is extremely proud of its faculty body of 67 permanent faculties who are experts in their field. With their vast reserves of knowledge, they not only provide an enriching and fruitful learning experience, but they also contribute to the world knowledge base with their research output.
In the last year itself, IMT faculties have published 67 articles in peer-reviewed journals, 5 of which were published in A-star journals and 27 in A category journals. Furthermore, our professors authored 4 books last year, which are published with houses such as Routledge and Emerald. They have published 14 cases and 3 newspaper articles and opinion pieces, among others.
Many of our esteemed faculties are directly connected with the industry. Either they have come here to teach you, or they are directly conducting MGPs for the industrial professionals. They have trained current industry stalwarts, and I'm sure they'll keep you on your toes and mold you into the leaders you definitely have the potential to be.
Over the course of the next 2 years, on the journey to reimagine yourself, you will find the contributions of the program office, placement cell, administration department, IT department, Office of Alumni Engagement, and the International Relations Office, which are immense, and their constant hard work smoothens our journeys, our experiences, and help us achieve our dreams. You will get a chance to interact with all of them in the latter half of the day, but to quickly take you through some of the faculty present here today, I'd also request, as I call out the names of the faculty, to please stand up and wave to the crowd if possible, so the students can get a brief glimpse of you. So starting with our director, Professor Talwar, Dean Academics, Professor Sareen, Dr. Bernali Chakradar, who is also chair of the PhD program, Professor Neha Arora, you've already met Professor Krishnamurthy, Professor Arit Chaudhary, he's a professor of finance, Professor Ashish Verma, Professor Harsimran Sandhu, Professor N.R. Vishnurma, Professor Pooja Agrawal Gulati, Professor Puneet Gupta, I think Professor Rajesh Pandey, Professor Sachin Chaudhary, Professor Malayaranjan Mohapatra. We have already met Professor Sean Matthew, Professor Harvinder Singh, Professor Abhishek. We have with us Professor Deepa Halder, Professor Elkana Eziti, Professor Garima Saxena. Can you guys be a little louder? We are all in focus. Professor Jishnu, Professor Juhi Sarkar, Professor Rakesh Singh, Professor Ram Mohan Dhara, Professor Sandeep Mukhopadhyay, Professor Ratna Kotli, Professor Sita Mishra, Professor Subhajit Sengupta, Professor Surajit Bhatt, Professor Tapaswati Mohapatra, Professor Abhigyan Sarkar, Professor Tripti Sharma, Professor Sanjay Das, Professor Santosh Srivastava, Professor Shailaja Agrawal, Professor Bhavna Bhalla, Professor Rakesh Gupta, Professor Nihar Amolkar, Professor Gaurav Vikas, Professor Nivisha Singh, Professor Shalini Tiwari, and Professor Vinayak Tripathi. Professor Poonam Garg, Professor Rima Khurana, Professor Susmi Rautre, Professor Shubhadeep Bhattacharya, Professor Manas Paul, Professor Shekhar Sinha, Professor Kasturi Das, Professor Vijay Sadashiv, Professor Ranjana Agrawal, Professor Ratna Vata, and Professor Amrita Bhattacharya. Moving over to the HR function, we have with us Professor Uday Bhaskar, Professor Bindu Gupta, Professor Nidhi Yadav, Professor Richa Saxena, Professor Swati Guliani, Professor Vijay Lakshmi Singh. Now the Operations Management Department, we have Professor Gunjan Malhotra, Professor Arindam Devroy, Professor Kampan Mukherjee, Professor Kaustubh Chakrabarty, Professor Mrinalini Shah, Professor Ratri Parida, Professor Rohit Sindwani, and
our next speaker is Professor Amit Sareen, our Dean of Academics, who will shed some light on what your academic journey at IMT would look like. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Also, I'd like to welcome the FPM students. FPM students are also there. And also like to introduce FPM Chair, Professor Gunjan Malhotra. So, FPM is the Career Program in Management that we are running. So, welcome students on this exciting journey of 2 years. So, it's a great day. And as Dean Academics, I want to guide you how to go about this journey for the next 2 years, how to maximize it based on my experience with the students over so many years. You are all full of energy. You're all intelligent people because of the selection process. So I mean to say, it's a great environment you're joining. It's a highly intellectual, motivating environment you're joining. So make the best of it. Make the best of it. And only thing I want to say is that many times I find highly capable individuals who could have punched above their weight. But sometimes they don't punch above their weight, you know. So here, I would recommend to all of you is that in such a highly charged and intellectually nice atmosphere, try to punch above your weight. We all have limitations, and but this environment next 2 years, try to go beyond your limitations. Try to go further. You know, for example, I like to give you the story of even TCS. In TCS, I was the business manager for the Bank of New York account, and this was in sometime in 2001. And at that time, really known outside the New York City circle because of the fact that it provides services to the large Wall Street banks. So it provides like custody solutions, but it has a big presence and it's addressed it's like Wall Street. And TCS at that time was just, this was 2001 when IT industry was just starting. And at that time it was providing an entire NCS solution, which we had developed earlier with the Standard Chartered Bank in Singapore. And we were implementing that package. So it was not a regular application development maintenance activities, it was an entirely packaged solution. So imagine the company's guts in a way, that in the heart of Wall Street, you are in, an Indian company is trying to implement a financial services solution to the best of the clients. And so clearly the company was punching above its weight. And you, of course, we all know where TCS is right now. So I mean to say, this is a good example, you know. So you should not be thinking of your limitations, and you should move above, you know. And as a student, you know, there would be so many opportunities out here where you can come, you can participate in classes, you can come on this stage itself, and you can make presentations, you can. There would be a lot of activities, and many of you may not be the best at it. You may not be the best at giving presentations, or you may not be having some sort of limitations, or those may be perceived. But I need to say this is a good time to try. No one would say that you make mistakes here. You make mistakes, but you do try. It would be a tragic thing that the fear of making mistakes, you don't try. You know, so in front of your colleagues, you can make mistakes, but do try. Try whatever you want to do, and in the class also. So as they say, you know, कि डर के आगे जीत है. So try beyond your limitations. That's what I would say. As being academics, I can also tell you the secret of earning 50% marks, at least in not only here but also in the corporate life. So should I tell you that? So yeah. So secret of 50% marks is just being present. You know. So come to the class. Some colleagues may say don't go to the class, but come to the class. Be there. If a case is given to you, read it. Yes, you may not be have the perfect solution, but at least read it. In the class, give some solutions. Try to be there. Try to be attentive. and try to participate. Whatever assignments and everything is given to you, just be there, just participate in that. Yeah, many advise all of you is to attend and participate. You know, sometimes colleagues will say don't go, but you go, and you will take my advice for that. So, also what in the next 2 years, you know, as my colleagues told that you need to work in, you'll get the opportunity to work in teams, collaborate with each other, and that's a very, very essential characteristic in today's world, where largely when you go into the corporate, it is more merit-based, not really seniority-based, and it is largely collaborative teamwork, particularly in digital environments where you're interacting online. So that skills, those skills are the ones which you need to definitely work out, and this 2 years is a great place to do so. You don't learn MBA just in the class. You, as my colleague said, that you learn outside the class. You collaborate with each other. You learn from your peers. You work in teams. So definitely do that. You know. So also, it's a great place to network, and not only you get networking opportunities within your own